Only a few minutes after the shooting, and people were staggering in shock outside the bookmakers.
Years after they died, a coroner has ruled that 10 people who were killed in Belfast in 1971, almost all of them by British soldiers, had been entirely innocent. A Catholic priest who was helping the wounded and a mother of 8 children.
The murder of Patrick Finucane in his home in North Belfast on Sunday the 12th of February 1989 was an appalling crime. He was shot 14 times as he sat the fullest possible account of the murder of Patrick Finucane and the truth about state collusion.
The Northern Ireland conflict, known as the Troubles, claimed the lives of over 3,500 people in its 30-year span. The conflict pitted the two working-class Catholic and Protestant communities against each other, as the British Army colluded with loyalist paramilitaries to thwart the Provisional IRA and other Irish Republican groups in their campaign to end the centuries-long British administration of Ireland. Explosions, murder, mistrust and lawlessness were all part of the daily diet, until the historic Good Friday Agreement secured peace in the province. Today, on the 25th anniversary of the Good Friday Agreement, a fragile peace has held the country and institutions together, albeit on a rocky foundation that is tested annually. What has become clear since the end of this conflict is that the British government and state forces inflicted incredible violence and atrocity on the civilian population of Northern Ireland, either directly through military operations like the events of the Falls Curfew, Ballymurphy Massacre and Bloody Sunday, which will all get their own videos eventually, or more covertly and with greater consequence, through collusion with loyalist paramilitary groups who committed mass murder and devastation to innocent people's lives on a daily basis for decades. What has become clear through this investigation is that elements of the British government and army at the highest level treated these paramilitary groups as their own private militias by covertly funding, training, and opening channels of communication for them to buy weaponry, and through the passing of intelligence, even providing material assistance for some of the most brutal crimes committed during this conflict. These paramilitary groups were able to fight the war in a way that the army couldn't, and at every turn the British government has sought to sweep these actions under the rug. And, well, sometimes they just had a bit of luck. Yes, that actually happened. The British government have never fully acknowledged their direct role in turning this conflict from a battle of Irish sovereignty to one of naked sectarian murder, scarring and harbouring distrust in all communities of this province to this very day. In this series, using declassified documents, testimony from those that were there, and a few leaps of faith, I'll outline all the evidence of the British government's failures and human rights abuses that kept Ulster's hands red with blood for decades. In ways that would seem far-fetched in a Hollywood movie, the British Army, employing the methods they had honed while desperately trying to hold on to Britain's colonial empire after the Second World War, infiltrated and instructed loyalist paramilitaries in an attempt to get them to do their bidding. It is abundantly clear that the deaths of innocent people were nothing more than statistics in the British Army's strife for the bigger picture. But this story begins in 1970 with the MRF, Military Reaction Force, a clandestine brigade of plainclothes soldiers handpicked for their loyalty and trained by Britain's SAS. This clandestine troop was directly responsible for the murders of at least a dozen innocent people and had a license to kill civilians indiscriminately, as the army attempted to distract the IRA from its campaign against the British into one of tit-for-tat sectarian murder with the working-class Protestant population.
Oh man, after this tour, you're going to Northern Ireland. You will be given a list, and the people on this list I want dead.
I'm the lazy investigator, and this is Collusion, an inquiry into British war crimes during the Northern Ireland conflict.